Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to solder one of our wires to the bottom bus bar. So what we're going to do is put it here, and we're going to clamp it to our bar as soon as we put some flux on it. Now you want to solder this one underneath, and the top one you will also solder underneath the bus bar. Now as you can see, there's a channel here where the original wire was soldered, and you want to stay as close to that channel as possible. So what we're going to do is just hold it with our forceps. We're going to take our soldering iron, get some heat in it, and put the tip on the wire, and as soon as it gets hot, starting to heat up. You'll see the forceps close in a second here. See them slowly closing. And that's it. We've got our solder joint. Now we'll push this down. And I didn't get that one exact, but it's really close. It lays down in the track there. Okay. Now, the next thing we need is our super glue. And I think this is a new tube. Okay, the next thing we need is our super glue. And this is a new tube, so we'll have to open it, and if you'll notice, this is a very, very thick gel, and we're going to put it in the channel. Now we're going to press our bus bar and our bus wire down into the super glue. We need to slide our panel back so we can clamp it. Now hold it down for a few seconds to let the glue start to set up. Okay, now we've glued our bus wire down into the channel here, and it's set in place. The next thing that we need to do is to solder a bus wire to the positive bus bar, which is this one, which we pulled out earlier, and we need to clean it off a little bit first, and we'll solder it, and then we will insulate them. So let me clean this little bit of Teflon off here. Just a little bit of Teflon stuck to that, and scrape off this little bit right here. Okay, now that one's clean, so we're ready to solder to it. So we take another wire, which we have over here, and we're going to use our clamping forceps. And again, I can't stress enough that the clamping forceps are very important for doing this. Okay, now we're going to clamp this under here. And we're going to get our soldering iron. Watch the end of the forceps. When the solder melts, they will close up slightly. And you will see the silver solder come out, and we will have a good clean solder joint. There's the solder starting to come, and the forceps are going together. And that's it. And we've got it soldered where it lays pretty well in the track. Okay. Now, the next thing that we need to do is to be sure that before we put that down, that we insulate the two wires from one another. Now we're using rubber electrician's tape for this step. Teflon tape works very well, but it is very expensive, and I didn't have any on hand at the time that we decided to make the video, so we're going to use the electrician's tape instead. So what we're doing is taking the cover off of this. And we're going to put this piece of tape here, make sure that it covers both wires, which it does very nicely. And we are going to fill the channel with super glue gel. And also we're going to put the gel on our tape. And it's real important that you use a very thick gel if possible, so that it fills the gaps which are left by the imperfections. Now that will keep those separated nicely. Next we're going to put some super glue on the back of our bus bar. And we are going to clamp it down. And this end we will hold with our pliers.